Russia's military offensive in Ukraine has now entered day 29, almost a month now since Russia started its invasion in Ukraine. A lot of airstrikes and bombardments continue across Ukraine. Also, this in the backdrop of significant developments taking place with regard to the NATO summit as well. Now, let's try and understand the long-term plans of Russia when it comes to its offensive, which it calls a special operation in Ukraine. Talking about Odessa, which is indeed the third largest city of Ukraine, what Russia intends to do is establish an economic control by the conquest of Odessa. So Odessa there, strategically a very important city for Russia.
We can sit together.
Talking about Mariupol, which has seen rampant devastation, a lot of airstrikes and bombardments in the last few days. In fact, more than 2,000 civilians are reported to have died as well as a result of these airstrikes. If Mariupol city is captured, it would enable land corridor from the eastern Donbas region to Crimea Peninsula. Crimea, of course, that was annexed in 2014, and the eastern Donbas region that has been declared as an independent nations. Talking about Kiev, which is indeed the capital city of Ukraine, it would establish a political control if Russia manages to conquest the capital city of Ukraine. Talking about the Azov Sea, remember, if Russia manages to capture the Mariupol city as well as the Odessa cities, it would enable it to facilitate international maritime trade, because Ukraine, as we all know, is very much dependent on this particular region when it comes to carrying out its international maritime trade. Let's try and understand the importance and the significance of Odessa city, which is the third largest city of Ukraine, as I just mentioned. It would become landlocked if it is captured indeed by the Russian troops. Economically, it would be crippled as a result of Russia's offensive in this particular region. Impoverished buffer zone is also something that the experts are pointing at. Also, another thing to point here it would also mean threat of further invasion, because if we see strategically, Odessa is located at a point where you have the Azov Sea, the Black Sea, and if Odessa manages to take over the Odessa city, it would enable it to capture the maritime international trade that Ukraine relies on for its economic growth.